Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha with Ice Cream Fitness here, and I'm sorry I didn't get to the Monday Q&As yesterday. I was way too sick for a couple of days to even get in front of my camera to do anything, let alone actually try to answer questions intelligently. So I'm going to try to do them for you guys today. But hold on, let me give you guys a bicep shot first. And let's get into these questions. First question. Do you think warming up the quadriceps with lightweight, higher repetition sets of other exercises before squatting would stimulate hypertrophy as well or better than squatting first? To answer your question, no. Not just no, but hell no. I know some guys do this, but it is literally moronic. There is no purpose in only warming up one muscle for a very large compound movement like that, such as doing something like leg extensions first. In fact, pre-exhaustion is something I don't believe in. I don't think there's any evidence behind it working. I don't think there's a reason for it to work. And I think the guys that do it and get away with it have such amazing genetics and are on so many fucking drugs that they can get away with doing something stupid like that and still developing good legs. But for a lot of other people, it's going to be shortchanging themselves. No, you should always do your heavy movements like your squats first, and a warm-up should generally consist of doing the actual lift you're about to do with relatively low reps. I don't believe in high rep warm-ups. With progressively heavier weight in a rep range similar to what you're actually going to be training in, or even slightly lower sometimes. And you should be replicating the exact form and technique you are going to use on the main lift. Your warm-up squats should not look different than your heaviest sets are going to look. You should be using the same technique, bar path, everything. That's how you properly warm up for something. And this pre-exhaustion stuff is complete nonsense. It only works if you got great genetics and you're on fuckloads of drugs. And it doesn't work better than something else would. It's just that the drugs and the genetics will let these guys get away with it. Alright, next question. Can you lose fat cells permanently, or do they shrink in size? It's a large point of contention because I remember years ago when this data came out showing that we saw hyperplasia, which is increasing the number of cells in obese people as they got fatter. They gained more fat cells and they stayed when they got leaner. But we have noticed that when people get very, very lean, that they do start experiencing some cell death, and some of the fat cells will go ahead and diminish as they get really, really lean and they shrink down very small. The body will start removing them, and even if they didn't, you need to remember that those cells, no matter how many you have, can still be shrunk almost infinitely small. So we have many cases of formerly obese people who have been well over 300 pounds who have become competitive bodybuilders later. I've seen several. You can find plenty of them online if you look around, who've lost 150 pounds of body weight and step on a bodybuilding stage and they look ripped to shreds. So even if they're still carrying those fat cells, they've shrunk them down so small that they have paper thin skin around their waistline still. So it's really not an issue. It's still not going to change the energy in, energy out equation. Alright, last question in part one. Can you give us an overview on Justin Bieber's stack? He's huge and cannot be natty. I'm going to tell you guys how to get that type of physique. I'm going to give you the whole program, diet, training, everything. First thing you need to do is make sure you don't touch any weights. You can do a lot of running up and down stairs, running on a treadmill, maybe do a few push-ups and jumping jacks, but that should be the extent of your exercise because you'll get too big and bulky and you'll get way bigger than that physique if you do that. Now, you also need to make sure that you don't eat a lot of protein in your diet. I would stick with mostly stuff like Fruit Loops and Cheerios, but don't put any milk on it. And maybe candy. You just need to keep enough sugar to keep your energy high. But you don't want too much protein because you'll put on muscle. And now to help with the fat burning and the lean look that someone like that has, you're going to need cocaine. Lots of fucking cocaine. That's the drug of choice for someone who has that type of physique. We call that a coke body. And there you have it. That's how you get that type of physique. There's your training, your diet, and your drug stack. Alright guys, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you next time.